In this video, we're going to be analysing Mullen, ticker MULN. Now, this stock is currently down at 20 cents. This is one we have done a lot of analysis in the past. And by this, I do mean 2022, 2023 times. And all we basically said anyway was never look to really long this stock because all it is going to do is overall just sink. But we will go through analysis because we haven't covered it in a while. And again, since then, it's only fallen another 98 or 95% since then. But right now, we're sitting at 20 cents. What is fair value considered on the stock? Well, we can see fair value is considered a negative number, which obviously we can't get on a stock. But all it really tells you, if a stock has a negative fair value, which is this white line here, this is the statistical mean from the 6 month. Basically, it's just telling you the stock is junk. Which again, we already know, so it's not really a big surprise. So what are key levels we can look to though on something like Mullen? So it does occasionally do these random moves or kind of pops, as you kind of see here. Went from being super overextended to somewhat being at fair value, and then we sold off again. But again, within these moves, they do sometimes kind of get these quick pops. So the way I would look at these pops is, you know, trying to short, really any of these pops we could probably just short and you'd be all right. Again, the main problem was always going to be, are you going to be able to get the shares to borrow? Probably not. Again, are the options going to be any help considering there's literally nothing on them? You're probably not going to make anything. The only time these could actually be all right is if you're selling them. But again, the way I would trade this stock is by selling premium. So what do I mean by that? In the case of this stock, if it pops, okay, we have our first standard deviation. Again, the way the first standard deviations work is between them. So again, here you have the -1 deviation. Here you have the +1 first standard deviation. You expect 68% of the data to trade within that range. Especially on something like Mullen, it's really going to be hard to kind of push out of there because most of the deviations are negative. So what this really tells us is if Mullen can push up to $3 at any point, and again, it does do these pops, are we likely to go that far? Probably not. But the way I would look at it more, but if it can do it without a stock split or any sort of kind of artificial effect of the stock price, really anything probably a dollar above, above $1 or even $2 is what we'd look to do. Really anything above $1 will probably be a fine trade. Obviously, if we want the kind of A-star setup, so you wait for a $3 move. But when this stock can kind of pop up to these levels, all I would really be looking to do is just selling puts. Or we can always sell calls. Really just depends on where the premiums are sitting. You know, if we can start trading back above, you know, kind of $2 or something, these will be worth value, and then we can sell them. Or even if it pops up to $2, even if there is literally no money in the calls and it only has an intrinsic value, the $1 calls will be worth $100. So these are what we can really just sell if this stock ever pops. And again, you never kind of want to have a naked trade, so you know you wouldn't want to short a call with no sort of protection. So even if you're doing that, you short the 100 call, maybe you buy the $3 call as protection, you take a max risk of $200 per contracts that you sell. But again, these are just ways to define risk, but really on a stock like this, we can't really see it pushing up. So if it does, it will tend to be short-lived. Like again, if you go to any kind of pop in the past, what does it do? It pops. But overall, the ultimate trend is going to be down because again, this stock is rubbish. So if any pops on this, I mean, even pops like this, you know, they have decent percentage pushes there. You know, you're doing a 140% pop. We went up to 56 cents. So again, even if we're trading the options on that, you could have been selling these calls. They would have been worth something, and now they're worth nothing. So that would really be the direct game power. I would look on a stock like this. Any sort of strong moves that gets to the upside, really just short into them. Again, you always want that protection hedged. So again, I would always go further out and buy some sort of calls just to kind of define that risk. But overall, again, even the 0.5 calls, shorting those, or so you're getting short -1 on a 0.5 call will probably be the game plan to take on something like Mullen. And again, if it is something you're bag holding, I wouldn't be expecting to make anything on it. And if you are already holding the shares, really the way I'd look to back to kind of minimize this loss as much as possible, if you're not willing to sell the shares, is again just selling these covered calls, because they'll be covered calls if you already own the shares, anytime the stock makes some sort of pop, because again, it is most likely not going to hold the move. Again, the only kind of noticeable move it had was back in 2021. It did a nice move all the way here, did a nice 100% move, and that one held for a bit. But again, ultimately, this company is trash, and it is just going to continue to sell off. So again, selling pops. Key level is going to be $3. If we could pop up to there, again, going to be very hard because from its current price, that is a 1,300% move. So pretty unlikely. But if we do just get any sort of pop, again, $1 or above will probably be the game plan, just to start shorting this stock. So again, we have $3, and then the next kind of key range will be $6 or $6.60, and then $10 again. These are not, even the $3 is very unlikely. So again, it's kind of just shorting any kind of big momentum pops. And again, like even that small one that we've had recently, that alone would have been a good enough move to short this one. Good enough to short. Really just look at any kind of green bounce in here. And what does it do? They green candles, but it's not even bounce. Here you get your green candle bounce, sold off. Green bounce, sold off. So again, any sort of moves we can kind of just look to short. Again, that would be the game plan for this stock.